of neighborhoods in the Damascus suburbs of eastern Ghouta. It was the deadliest chemical weapons attack since the Iran-Iraq War. Barack Obama had warned the regime that using chemical weapons against civilians would force America's hand. UN inspectors who searched the site confirmed significant quantities of the gas have been used in an indiscriminate attack. In spite of international outrage, nothing was done to stop it happening again. With her 6 siblings dead, only Maha and her mother are left. Suffering the long-term effects of sarin without access to treatment, Maha's mother is blind and unable to walk. Maha struggles to see well and has lost her sense of smell.
I got affected by the chemicals and suffered a lot because I stayed here. There's nothing left for us. We're dead inside now. We just want things to get better from now on for the young ones. They don't deserve to live any more years of war.
We still don't know exactly how many people were killed here, partly because of the veil of silence enforced on victims by the regime, and partly because whole families were exterminated, with no one left to mourn them. Some estimates are as high as nearly 2,000 people killed in one day.
What we saw on the bodies of children, women, and men from the chemicals was unfathomable. We saw the foam coming out of their mouths, noses, and ears. There was blood coming out too, and their bodies were blue as if they'd been badly beaten.
Zuhair remembers every face, every mother and child. It was he who buried their bodies, laid 5 or 6 on top of each other in each hole, because there were so many.
Yes, they were mass graves. We put each body beside the other, covered them with sand, and then did the same all over again. People were bringing piles of bodies from everywhere. It was indescribable. We stayed there for 3 hours burying them.
Rescuing as many of his neighbors as he could, Zuhair was too late to save his own mother. As he rushed to take her to hospital, he collapsed from the effect of the poison floating through the air.
I found her taking her last breaths. There was no one to help me carry her, and I was so exhausted. I went outside and fell down. I tried to get up again and walked for about 20 yards, and then I recited my own last rites.
When Zuhair regained consciousness, his mother was dead. He lost 25 members of his own family in the attack. Zuhair and Maha want revenge for decades of suffering. But with Bashar al-Assad and his family safely in Moscow under Vladimir Putin's protection, they're unlikely to get it. The most they can hope for is to finally seek treatment for their many illnesses and to mourn their loved ones in the open at last.
What kind of butcher is he? Putting all these people underneath the ground like this. What have they done to deserve this? May God take revenge on him. I wish for Bashar al-Assad not to die until he sees the agony of mothers. My mom's agony, who wakes up every day asking about her little girl.
An entire nation seeking answers, seeking justice. The man responsible out of reach. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Leila Milana Allen in eastern Ghouta, Damascus.
As we learn more about the atrocities committed by the Assad regime, investigations are underway at sites across that country. Authorities and relatives are trying to uncover the fate of the many thousands detained and feared murdered during Assad's rule. Simona Foltine went to visit 3 mass grave locations today, and she joins us now. Simona, tell us what you saw.
Well, Jeff, it was quite grim, and these mass graves really bear witness to just how systematic the killing was under Assad's government, and the details are only just beginning to come out. The first site we went to was in Tadamun, which is a suburb in the south of Damascus, and it is known for a massacre that occurred there in 2013, alongside a series of other extrajudicial executions. Essentially, this neighborhood had been turned into a killing field, and when we went there, residents pointed us to several shallow graves that had been dug in between the homes. We saw human remains and bones sticking out of the ground, children playing on these sites. So it was quite jarring to see also how accustomed people had become to living near these mass graves, which hadn't been secured at all. Now, the second site we went to was quite different. It was in a rural area close to the prison of Saidnaya, which has been, as we know by now, dubbed the human slaughterhouse of Syria. And this site is probably where many of the thousands of people who perished in Saidnaya were buried. It was a lot more organized. You could tell that the site had been planned out. It had been segregated into sections, and the vaults had been lined with concrete. concrete. So it was quite shocking to see how much planning and effort the government had exerted into disappearing and killing people. It was not really something that happened randomly or in an isolated manner. It was very much a function of the state.
How is the new government navigating this work of trying to secure these sites while starting the delicate work of unearthing them?
Well, not much has really happened on this front, and it's really too soon to start thinking about exhuming these sites, even though, of course, the relatives, they want answers, they want the remains of their loved ones. When we were there at one of the mass graves, we met two siblings who had just found out that their brother was likely buried in one of these mass graves, and they essentially demanded that